again, and I'm still banging on about 80 shilling. I hope you haven't got bored with this yet. Anyway, another recipe today. This time one that is actually a modern 80 shilling, which is a real treat, isn't it? So this is a 1933 William Younger export. So it is actually called export in the brewing record, which is the same as an 80 shilling, really. With 60 and 70 shilling, they are normally called that in the brewing records, or sixpenny or sevenpenny pale ale. Whereas 80 shilling only occasionally seems to be called 80 shilling in the brewing records and is mostly called export, which is interesting in itself. This one has the classic gravity of an interwar 80 shilling or export being 1054. They're all about 1054, 1055. This one was brewed at Holyrood, which was William Younger's second brewery in Edinburgh and one which concentrated on pale ales. And I don't know if it still did, but certainly for a while it had union sets. I suspect they might have been gone by this date, but yeah, that's just a guess. I don't really know that for certain. The attenuation isn't great, but it gets it to over 5% ABV, which is a pretty strong beer for the 1930s. As is typical with interwar beers, it has a pretty simple grist. Again, base malt, three types, an awful lot of grits again, as we saw in the 1913 William Younger beer. And that's it. There's no sugar in this one. It's really very simple, though. I'm really not sure what all those grits would do to the beer. I'm suspecting it wouldn't have a huge amount of body, which might be why they've left the finishing gravity relatively high. The colour that it's given here is almost certainly not the colour in most of the places it was served. As with most Scottish breweries, I'm sure they were colouring it with caramel to different shades, depending on where it was going to be sold. There's two types of hops, some described as Pacific, which means West Coast, so could be either California, Washington, Oregon, or British Columbia. It doesn't specify. Probably USA, but not necessarily. And then the other ones are from Kent. They're about equal quantities of the two, as you can see in the recipe. And there's also quite a lot of dry hops, which is interesting. The hopping is fairly light and is about, yeah, 40% less than you'd find in an equivalent London beer of the period, though it's quite heavily dry hopped, as you can see. So that must have given it a fairly nice hoppy aroma, even if it wasn't necessarily hugely bitter, though it still comes out to a calculated 53 IBU. This is a type of beer that's still brewed today, even though the gravity is a lot lower, around 1042, 1043, which is the effect of World War II, which knocked down the gravities of all British beers. Well, I hope you like that, and I think that's me almost done with 80 shilling. Now, I might go for a post World War II one as well if you fancy seeing what they look like. Okay, well, I'll see you again soon and keep the suggestions coming in. Bye.